Have you ever loved a game so much that you held on to it even though you knew it was disappearing and then it wasn't going to stick around for long? I have, and it sucked. So today, I'm going to give you the chance to get into a game that isn't going anywhere anytime soon, and in fact, is just getting better. This is Paragon. And no, this video isn't about Paragon because Paragon is Paragon. Okay, sorry, that was really bad. Anyway, Paragon's gone. This video is actually about Warmachine, but I'm going to use Paragon to kind of push my point. Okay, I loved Paragon. I thought it was the coolest game out there. I put hundreds of hours into it. My favorite character was a guy named Crunch, robot that punches stuff. Amazing. And after about 3 months of playing it, I realized that it was not going to survive. The developers had stopped doing things with it. They'd stopped updating it as much as they had before. It was a game that was just slated for death. And eventually, that's exactly what happened. They came out with some new, better game, Fortnite or something. And Paragon disappeared. And I realized then that I was kind of a fan of getting into these games that just kind of had a tendency to just go away and die. And when I first got into Warmachine, I was afraid that I had done it again. But I don't think that way anymore. Thanks to Steamforged Games, who bought Warmachine from their old home at Privateer Press, and because of this box right here. A few months back, Steamforged Games released their first plastic set of Warmachine. It was a 2-player starter set. Okay, and it came with 2 30-point armies. Just so you know, a full army is anywhere from 75 to 100 points. So it was a good starting force that they had everything set up for you to learn how to play the game. It came with some terrain. It did not have a dice. It did not have a ruler, but most of us have those in our house. Okay, and it sold super well. So well, in fact, that they decided to do another 2-player starter set. No, this one is just a 2-player set. And the only difference is that it doesn't come with terrain. It just comes with miniatures. And you might think that that's a bad thing. But in all honesty, I like this set even more than I liked the first one. And that's not to say that the first one was bad. The first one is amazing, and it has the 2 most popular factions in the game. But if you couldn't tell, I like things that are a little out of the mainstream. And so I loved that these 2 factions were a little different. And let me tell you, these models are the best ones yet. So I want to start off with the set that I haven't gotten into too much, but it's actually funny. My army that I have, that's a full army as of these guys. These are the Chimera. They are basically robot dragons, and this is their warlock, which means that he is their king if you were playing chess. If this character dies in a match, the game is over and you lose. So warlocks are really cool. And what warlocks do is they have special abilities in like magic and stuff, but they also control warbeasts. Or warjacks, depending on what team you're playing as. And anyway, this is the warjack for this army. It's awesome. It's got poison coming off the stinger on its tail. Freaking awesome. Just a great sculpt. Okay. Both of these sets come with a warlock, a warbeast, and then 2 solo units. And the two solos for this are these 2 guys. Just awesome models. The wings, I mean, when the set came, it's in 8 different sprues, and 5 of the 8 sprues belong to these guys, while only 3 belong to the Southern Kriell, the trolls that we'll get into after these units. But these units are awesome. Obviously, as solos, they kind of move on their own and do their own thing, which is really cool. And then you have 3-man groups, and that's these bad boys. Which, as you can see, same thing. Giant wings, cool weapons. I mean, they are robot, ninja, dragons. They also have other units that are like centaur dragon things, which it's just awesome, right? There's just something cool about these miniatures. And like I said, this box set is just amazing. So, Moving on to the Southern Kriell, or the Trolls. This is their Warcaster. He has a drinking problem. He also has a monkey on his shoulder that is blowing fire off of a Molotov cocktail. I mean, come on. You know, they have like that kind of Napoleonic era coats that are just really, really cool. And so, I mean, these are pirate units. And because of that, some of the units I have placed on wood that I'm going to paint for like docks. And then this unit is, yes, you guessed it, a bird with its beak full of bombs that are being lit by this little troll guy, little goblin looking thing down there. Just really cool units. There's so much life in them that, I don't know, I love that about them. He is one of the solos for the Southern Kriell. The other solo is this dude who, I mean, he's just a little guy, but he's got a humongous gun. One of the cool things about this gun is that it has an effect called recoil that literally when he shoots it, it throws him back 3 inches as you're playing. And I just love the thought of this little dude with a massive gun. So loved that unit. And then these 3 brothers are your group unit that came with the set. And again, they are the trolls. They're basically the orcs of Warmachine. They're really cool, big exaggerated features, and their larger units, their warbeasts generally take on the form of wherever they live, which brings me to Chum. Chum is a shark. Okay, and I just want to point out he is a shark with a scuba diving mask attached to his neck. I threw the skull on, that was me. And he has a fish in his hand as a weapon. And I just thought, what a cool sculpt. It's a shark dude who's swinging around mines that I learned how to paint from a guy called Ice King, who is amazing. And his tutorial on doing Rust was so easy, and it took just like 2 seconds. This is my first attempt at Rust, and I think it turned out really good. So thanks, Ice King. Anyway, I did my own tattoo here on the top because I thought that would be really cool. I mean, obviously he's not done. I got a crab up here and some starfish and things, but he is almost done. And I just think, talk about one of the coolest units I've ever put together and that I have ever painted. So there you have it. That's why I think the Shadow and Scum box is so awesome. These models are my favorite. I have been trying new things, trying to make Chum, who's obviously my favorite of the set, as cool as it can be, and I'm putting a ton of time in, and I'm going to put a ton of time into the others because I think they're all awesome. And so what I want from you is to know, have you ever loved a game that you thought was going to do well and you thought was going to survive, but it didn't? If so, let me know which one in the comment and we can grieve together. And if you don't want to complain, you can go ahead and just leave a comment below about what you think about the current state of Warmachine and these new models. Do you think this is the right direction? Should they move to plastic, or was resin a good place for them to be? I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments below. So drop me a line. And if you like content like this, I'm going to be painting more. I'm going to be talking more about Warmachine. It is possibly my favorite tabletop war game at this moment. And so I plan to do a lot more on it. And so I'd love to hear what you have to say. And I'd love for you to like and subscribe. Follow the channel. Help it grow. Help me get more content out there to you. And if there's anything that you're looking for in particular, anything that you want about this game, let me know. I'd be more than happy to change things around a little bit and do different things. I'm hoping to do more painting tutorials as soon as I get my good P3 paints, also provided by Steamforge Games. And I would love to share those with you and hopefully become a lot better painter while you watch. So let me know below. And as always, don't spend so much time creating your world, painting your models, putting them together, that you forget to spend some time in them. Until next time.